Jest to dla mnie duży zaszczyt, że mogę być
Wow.
dzisiaj z Państwem. I speak Polish, trocheczkę, so I'm not able to speak with you today in Polish, but I will try to give you equal interesting presentation in English. As you mentioned, I'm coming from Ringier Axel Springer. We operate in this 4 Central Eastern European markets. On this market, we are known by operating Onet, the largest portal, but also the whole portfolio of original portfolio of Ringier Axel Springer, like Forbes, Newsweek, Fact, and others. I will speak to you today about digital media strategies. I'm working in this company for many years, and I was basically leading the whole transformation process of the company that was once print-only company into print-to-digital company. Today we are rather video and focusing all our efforts into mobile. So speaking about the transformation cases and what are basically the main questions in determining innovation strategies for any publisher, basically these are: what are the trends in publishing industries, what are the trends in monetization of publishing, and how is innovation happening in our industry? And this is more or less what I will try to share with you today, insights that I have. So let's first speak about the trends in the publishing industry. So basically the only trend is that everything is changing enormously every day, every month, and like these are only some of the elements of this change. So from selected sources to multiple sources in terms of media consumption, from planned consumption to always on, from deep reading to just swiping through the headlines, not having too much interest in what's going on, from trusted sources to social media, from paper to digital, from yesterday's happenings to instant news. So really, really big change by all means. Now, how is this change happening in terms of media consumption? Basically, we consume much more media volume. We consume much more media sources, as you can see, like, I don't know, in the 1950s, we were consuming print and maybe TV at the beginning. Today, there are several different media sources. We are always on with our mobile phones. Mobile is like changing our industry now completely. Since 2014, in the global scale, mobile outperformed desktop in traffic. So up until recently, we were speaking about transition from print to digital. Now we are basically speaking about the transition from digital or from desktop to mobile. And I just heard a good quote a couple of days ago saying the desktop will be dead even before print. And, you know, might be. I don't know. Let's see. A couple of more words about mobile. So, and with the reflection on Poland, in Poland, 34% of Poles download actually the applications. And what is very important, 88% of the app time in the US is just spent within 5 apps. So basically 5 apps out of, I don't know, like I have at least 30, 40. But people really download a bunch of these applications, but at the end of the day, they use just 5. But what is very important that in terms of time spent with the media, as you can see here, basically mobile is consuming most of our time throughout the day, even more than TV and even more than desktop already. Some more interesting facts about mobile. These are rather around applications. We usually speak about mobile web, and particularly here in Poland, I see that mobile web is the dominant channel, yeah? And everybody is focused on mobile web. But when we look into the other markets, and here's the example of the American market particularly, we see that basically app traffic for some huge brands, like even the content brands like Yahoo Finance or like here we have Yahoo Mail, there is more traffic actually coming through the application than through the mobile browsers. So it's a big learning. I would say not in every market, even in Western Europe, is the same. There are markets where applications is much more dominant. There are other markets where mobile web is dominant. But basically, you know, depending on the side, on the part of the world, both are extremely important. What is happening in Poland in terms of mobile usage? We have in 2015 19 million smartphone users, and at the same time 13.7 million mobile internet users. So currently desktop is still bigger than mobile, but latest in 2018, and I would expect that it happens already in 2017, mobile will outperform desktop even here in Poland. Then let's speak about the trends in the monetization, basically, of publishing. Again, a lot of changes, from print and TV to digital advertising, and that was the first thing, the simplest one. But then, from static display to video, from face-to-face selling to ad exchanges, from media buyers to analysts. Then, in terms of revenue compositions, from users paying to advertising paid, from paying users to free or freemium. So like constant change. There were also trials with paid content, so revenue composition is also dramatically changing, and everything was much simpler before. This slide I like very much because, like, particularly this slide I think you saw in the many presentations so far. So everyone was talking about mobile being basically, so the slide is showing share of time spent with media and share of media ad spend. And as you can see, like, you know, people were spending in 2013 much more time than actually the proportion of money spent with mobile media was. But I would say that this is past, because like with the financial reports published for Facebook for last year, we have seen that mobile advertising, which is this part here, significantly outperformed desktop advertising. And I think it's a big milestone. And it shows the way where this advertising industry will be going with a high speed in the coming months and years. And why is this happening? If you check carefully this graph, and basically this chart is showing different brand metrics for mobile and for desktop, you will see that on a variety of these brand effectiveness measures, mobile ads outperform desktop 2 to 3 times. So for example, purchase intent, mobile provides you with the better results 3 times than desktop. Which was, for me, when I saw this chart for the first time, really amazing information. But information that doesn't really surprise me, because like on the mobile phone, the screen is limited, and even if the ad is small, it's visible, because you don't have the way to look around. With desktop, this is much different. And then coming to the main topic, basically, of today's presentation, is that how is innovation actually happening in our industry? And here, I've recognized basically 2 modes. Yeah, one is sustaining innovation, which is basically building on the existing assets and on the existing well-proven business models. And this is what many publishers are doing, but in many cases are not brave enough to stretch themselves to the limit where they're really becoming successful in the digital world. And the second one, which is disruptive innovation, where you really completely change your business model. In the first case, legacy is the biggest problem and high profits with the existing businesses. So basically, many publishers are simply not brave enough to embrace the change. And then all of a sudden they realize that, you know, change is anyhow happening and they're late. So how to innovate? I purposely chosen not to talk today too much or almost at all about my company. I will talk about the 3 companies for which I have a huge appreciation. I think they did an amazing job in terms of digital transformation. So I will be telling you a bit more about Schibsted Media Group, about Naspers, and about Huffington Post. So in terms of Schibsted Media Group, they were rather sticking to publishing as their core business, but they changed the way how publishing functions. They changed the game a little bit. When it comes to Naspers, they really went radical way, and they basically exited publishing as their core business. They are still in this business, but it's not their core business anymore. And then basically Huffington Post and even BuzzFeed, these 2 companies basically redefined publishing and what we meant when we say the word publishing before. So let's quickly go through what these companies actually have done. So Schibsted. How many of you know Schibsted? Heard of them? Okay. So Schibsted Media Group is a Scandinavian company. It's a huge company. They are active basically in the news publishing. So they are the publisher in VG in Norway and Aftonbladet in Sweden. Also 20 Minutes in Spain and France. These are the big publications. They existed in print and in online. And they were long time ago extremely successful in doing only this business. But then Schibsted also became extremely active in the classifieds business. And they are also the owner of the lot of classifieds businesses around Europe and around the world. I don't think that they have anything here in Poland, but basically they have similar businesses like here is Otodom, Otomoto, I don't know, Tablica, not Tablica, today's OLX, yeah, OLX. So this is what these guys are doing. And basically what they said, their strategy is the following. So they said like, we stick to publishing and we will build the leading media house, focusing on print still and sustaining print, building web video heavily and focusing on mobile news. But at the same time, they said we want to become a leader in the digital classifieds field. And they really set for themselves a very bold goal. They actually said we want to become the leading classifieds player in Europe. And that was their only point of interest. So they were not acquiring any different businesses. They were not even looking into different businesses. For them, there were only two strategic options: classifieds and print, sorry, not print, but publishing, digital media publishing. And they did a great job. They even challenged the local TV stations in Scandinavia. Like they are literally able with this, with their digital platform VGTV, to compete with the national TV station today. And basically the secret of their success was, first of all, boldness, because they were really ready to invest a lot of money. And second of all, focus, because they were focused only on these two areas. I think the slide that is really showing how brave in this transformation they were is this one. As you see, they decreased 40% their stuff in their print business, and at the same time, they increased significantly their stuff in the online part of their company. The second case is Naspers. You know about Naspers? Sure, yeah? Okay, they operate in Poland. Probably that's the reason they own Allegro here. I would say also a great company, but this company actually started as a publisher, and this is really visible on the next slide. So they started as a South African print media publisher, 1918. They have their platform 24.com, which is their basically online portal. It's actually the leading online portal in South Africa. And basically, if you look at this part of the chart here, what they're doing is like digitizing brands with this part of their business. They are digitizing brands, they are developing applications, they are going into tablets. It's like all the things that all the publishers are more or less doing. But for them, like if you read their financial reports, they would even refer to their digital publishing business as a print business. So for them, like, you know, this is completely now small part of their business. And since the 1918 till today, they have completely transformed their business by investing into several different modes. And this is what they are today, yeah? So they are in e-commerce, Allegro, you know, yeah? Then in price comparisons, Ceneo, you know, then in classified, then in dating, then in gaming, then in social. So like with Tencent, and that was the big acquisition for them in China. And today they are one of the leading digital companies in the world. Not that famous like Facebook and Google, but really breathing in their neck and really being big. And let's think for a moment about their strategy, basically. So they were really aggressively going into acquisition of these e-commerce and I would even say all profitable and successful digital businesses. Once they would do that, that was the amazing part of their strategy. They would basically really grab the knowledge, invest heavily into education and taking knowledge from the companies they acquired, and then they would be scanning the markets, analyzing where are the other markets where such kind of businesses do not exist, and then they would be bringing these businesses to these other markets. Very radical expansion, very bold, and they invested obviously heavy money in that. But successful, and they would always focus on the growth markets, so markets with a high growth potential. This is the important part. So as you see, out of their total EBITDA, they are generating basically 10% today from their publishing business. So they've completely transformed their business into digital. The third company that is really doing a great job when it comes to digital publishing and which really disrupted the whole digital media scene was Huffington Post. Basically, the media portals were launched in 1997, 1998, basically, and the ones who started then, they were ruling the internet scene. And it was extremely hard to get any challenger to beat them, yeah? And they are still around, they are still big. But these guys really managed, which might seem to look like impossible, or already back in 2005 when they launched, basically, they managed to compete with the big guys that started far before them by simply hacking the whole way of how you run the media company and how you produce the content. So while all traditional players, I'm speaking now about digital traditional players, were having a huge editorials and opening their correspondence centers in different parts of the world, curating a lot of content, having the army of people. What these guys managed to do is basically they managed to get, and it's written here, 2,000 to 4,000 unpaid people to write for them. And that was the complete game changer. Yes, before that there were blogs around, yes? There were blogging platforms. But this was not even similar to the regular blogging platforms. Because they've created a brand where not only any blogger, but also the reference authors were proud and willing to write. And this is what Arianna Huffington managed to produce. So she created a loved brand of reference, where people will be, just for the sake of building their reputation, writing for free. And this worked out for them. This worked out very well. Later on, Forbes.com followed the similar model, and they were equally successful. And as I said, what their strategy, if I can say it in 2 sentences, is basically get most of the content for free and earn with ad revenues. And that's what they do, and they do it successfully very much. Now, all the publishers that I mentioned are even HuffPo are somehow, quite a while on the market. Yeah? But then there is a completely new generation of users. I see a lot of them among you, which are, and then you can shout if you disagree with anything that I say here. They consume multiple brands and visual, easy to understand content. They are on social networks and consume most of their content over there. They are mobile mainly, even only. And they do not trust commercials. They rather trust their friends, favorite media, and bloggers. And these are the rules of the game for them. And these are the whole new players in the whole innovation and media scene. They are really bringing some new value to the whole game, and they are, I would say, really understanding how millennials are functioning. So first one, Business Insider. We are starting Business Insider here in Poland mid-May. What they did, I think, in an amazing way, and that's what the founders actually said to us when we were first time meeting them. They said, we are bringing back fun to business, And the way how they will show you Business Insider once you have a first contact with their management is they would show you Wall Street Journal cover or their website. They will show you Financial Times. And then they will show you the same story that you would really like to read on Business Insider, which is explained in a very easy language, with a nice video explainer, with a lot of photos, a lot of visual, and basically with that, they really changed the game. And today, they are the largest business media in the world. Also, these guys, Now This, I like them very much. Can we turn this video as well? Yeah? So they also, and this is in common for all of these players here, they really went aggressively for their distributed content strategy. So up until then, like the media were actually jealously saving their content for their websites. So if you want to see our content, you have to come to the website. What these guys did, basically, they started heavily producing content and distribute this content through the social media platforms. And they were not afraid if the visit or the traffic will not be generated back to their website. And this is extremely important in this category of social video, where basically with the nice, very simple, cheap to produce videos, which are basically moving pictures, and with the nice graphical overlay, you see in your Facebook timeline, in the matter of 8 to 10 seconds, exactly what is happening and what's of interest for you. So these videos are cheap to produce. I've been to Now This Media. This is basically the editorial office of 20-something people. Maybe they are bigger a bit this year. We've been there last year. And this is a company that was creating, I just read the report, 81 billion video views on Facebook. This is huge. And these are these simple videos that they are producing. The next star for me, really the star, Tasty. You've probably seen in your Facebook timeline, Tasty. This is actually the company which is now acquired by BuzzFeed. They are producing this simple, easy-going recipe videos with the graphical overlays. They're really focusing that they attract your attention in the first couple of seconds in the Facebook timeline. And as you see, like they're producing 15 million views on average per clip. They didn't invest a penny, and they've created now a fan community of 41 million people. This is even more than BuzzFeed has. And I think that they are on the market for maybe 1 year. And then BuzzFeed, I guess we all know very well, they are the masters of distributing content on social media. One very interesting slide about Now This. So if you try to go to their website right now, this is what you will see. So even the homepage, even the word sounds old. Today the news lives where you live. And you know what? There's a lot of truth in that. Then this is basically, there is a big question how you can actually monetize when you publish all this content on the social platforms and basically people don't come back to your website. And we were faced as a company with a similar question with the portal that we launched recently called Noise. Here I just wanted to show you a simple example how not expensive production video can actually work very well for the client. And so it basically takes to produce such videos maybe a couple of hours. It's just a creative idea. The sound is not important because when you scroll through this video in your Facebook timeline, you see everything. You have the graphical overlay and you don't even need to turn on the sound to see the whole picture and to hear the whole picture. So that's basically how the companies are monetizing social video. Then also, I would say 2 players in this new wave of innovators, or let's say game changers in the new wave of innovation, are the Facebook Instant Articles. Again, there is more and more companies which are really going brave into the distributing their content straight to Facebook, or to, can we turn on Snapchat as well, with their Snapchat Discover feature, Basically, they were actually the pioneers of this game. So like even the large companies like CNN are really now trying to adjust their content to the millennial audience, to present it in a completely different way, to be digestible and easy to consume to this young audience. And this was like, you know, this CNN really doesn't look like CNN. So then also speaking about the distributed content, there are graphic posts. This is something that we did when we launched Noise here in Poland. It was really like, you know, it's in front of the building in Hoja Street, where like so one of the places where we have the offices. So the girls went outside, they stick this, and you know, it got hooked by all the influencers, you know, all the people which were on that day in social media, and became really the biggest hashtag. And so its content is not, what I want to say is not only when they come to our website to read what we have to say. Like we can spread a lot of great messages just by producing good graphical content for social media. The proof that this might work gives BuzzFeed a very interesting graph. This is the red, is showing BuzzFeed traffic from January 2014 till today. And this is the traffic that they're generating through their distributed content in social media. So as you might see here, they reached the point that they're basically generating more traffic, probably 4 or 5 times more traffic on social platforms than on their website. And that's, I think, the big game changer. Now, just quickly to refer to my company and how are we doing when it comes to digital media transformation. So, as I mentioned, we have a pretty similar strategy to our colleagues from Schibsted. So our goals are two. We want to build the leading digital media house in Central and Eastern Europe. And we want to become a leader in online classifieds in this region. And yeah, we had a couple of acquisitions. One was Onet here in Poland. Through Fact24, Blitz Online is the leading media, digital media in Serbia, Blik.hu in Hungary, and Azet is the leading digital platform in Slovakia. So some organic development, some acquisitions. We are much closer to this goal. Where we are focused is digital information, web video, mobile news, and millennial media products. This is where we really would like to innovate the media scene, also here in Poland. And we are very focused on building digital classifieds. Actually, we are much more focused in the acquisition in this field. And here we have the leading job board in Hungary, real estate in Slovakia, and auto classifieds in Serbia and Slovakia. One very important pillar in our strategy and where we would really like to innovate is millennial brands ecosystem, the whole distributed content strategy model that I was mentioning in the previous slides. So here we built 3 brands. One is Noise, which was launched in November, where we managed to reach already 2 million Polish millennials. We are launching Business Insider in May, and we have launched a couple of days ago Newsweek Punkt, which is basically the Newsweek content, but news digest, which is really prepared in a way which is easy to digest and consumable by the millennial audience. Where we also push extremely strong and we really do a lot of focus is the video. We really have the goal to prove that the fantastic video TV quality can be produced and presented in the similar or same way or even better way in the digital media, and that is what we are doing now with Onet, and you have probably seen some of these TV shows. So we are showing them live, but we are also showing them on our VOD platform. And this is currently the big investment and the big, I would say, strategic direction that we are following. And finally, how we are doing as a company in this whole digital transformation process. So we started in 2012 as a JV. In 2012, we acquired Onet. We have completely divested our Czech operations because we didn't see that we can make a sustainable digital business over there. We have acquired in Scampus and Opineo. We have acquired in the Hungarian businesses. We acquired a leading job board in Hungary, and today, as you might see, we had in 2012 only 5% of the total EBITDA of Ringier Axel Springer Group in Central and Eastern Europe was digital. Today, 63% of our total EBITDA is coming from the digital. So I think we are doing very well in this transformation path. I hope that all these cases were interesting for you and that they might help you in your future work. Thank you very much.